people came?
Just you and one Zoomer. It looks like there's 3 in here, but 2 of them are me.
Oh,
And this is way too loud for me to, here we go. I don't need to hear myself. All right. Hello and welcome to week 8. Okay. Week 8. We are halfway through the semester. This week is the practice exam. Now, if you want to know, how can I prepare for my next exam? You need to understand everything on the practice exam. Okay. I know some people that would even make flashcards of the problems on the practice exam. They look at it, they picture how to do it, they do it. So when the practice exam is in this week, and you need to understand everything on the practice exam. Good morning, welcome. Hey, Marcos, that is the next packet. Do you use the packets?
okay.
Do you use the packets? Do you write on paper? That is the next one right there. Not for today, but starting next week. Awesome.
We take the exam next week?
Next week is the exam. Okay, so week 8, this week is the practice exam. Next week is the individual exam. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we need to have a little chat about photomath. Not you guys, because you guys are either here or you're on Zoom, but theoretically, let's talk about photomath. Okay. Let's practice solving. Sorry, we are not solving. Let's practice factoring these expressions. Let's talk about my method. Okay, my method is you make a diamond. Reminds me of Aladdin, diamond in the rough. Okay, anyway. So we put the constant term on top, the linear term on the bottom, right? The 12, and then the coefficient of the x. And then I ask, what are 2 numbers that multiply to get 12 and add to get 7, 3, and 4? Because this is an easy factor. Okay, because it's an easy factor, I don't need the box. Do you have this week's packet?
I left it on my house.
Okay. Go, do you want to get one?
Can I just get paper? And I can just.
Okay, if you just want paper, it's in the basket to the left of my stacker. But those are old. If you want to dig up a 4 through 8 from the bottom of the left-hand side of the stacker, they're just going to get thrown away anyway. Yeah, you see what I mean? Look on the left column towards the bottom. Yeah, is that, oh, that's probably 1 through.
Yeah.
Okay, go 1 up. And that should be 5 through 8. Yeah, because they're just gonna get thrown away anyway. But thank you for respecting paper and trees. Okay, so my method, you make a diamond. This is easy factor. Easy factor means we don't need the box. So we can just go x plus 3, x plus 4. This is my method. Now, in case you're thinking, yeah, you're okay and everything, but I wonder if photomath is smarter than Mrs. Watts. Okay, we all have that thought. Admit it. Okay, let me show you the photomath method. The photomath method is split your middle term. And then factor by grouping. Take your first 2 terms, factor out an x. Take your last 2 terms, factor out the 4. Notice x plus 3 is the common factor. It moves to the front. Okay, now can you see that photomath is not easier? I mean, it's easier because it does it for you. But yeah, so If PhotoMath has a better method, let me know and I'll teach it to you guys. But can you see how PhotoMath can be dangerous? It can be a good reference, but it can be dangerous because if I'm grading this problem, what am I going to ask you? How did you split? How did you decide 3 and 4 to split the 7? Okay. Or I'm going to ask you, how did you decide 3 and 4 as the factors of 12? Look at this one. X squared plus 2x plus 6x plus 12. How did you know? Okay. So just be very careful. Okay. When you're doing an easy factor problem, just make the diamond. Yeah. And if you are watching this video, yay, thank you for watching the video. Let's practice my methods. Okay. There are some of you, you come in person and you actually use this one because that's what your Algebra 1 teacher taught you. Okay. But if you're at home, I just want you to see sometimes PhotoMath is not better. Okay. This is the way I learned when I was 16 years old. That was a while ago, guys. Okay. We've discovered some new, more efficient methods. Be careful with PhotoMath. Okay. And I need to know how you decided the 3 and the 4. Now, I realize I'm preaching to the choir right now, but hopefully people are also watching the video and be careful with PhotoMath. Okay. Number 1 is just like what we just did. You make a diamond. We're going to come back and do that at the end if you want to see it. Number 2, I have 4 terms. Oh, well, that works out because I have 4 spots in my box. So I'm going to put them in descending order of exponent. You could also use factor by grouping, but I've found that people make arithmetic errors when they do factor by grouping. They head down this tunnel and then they get lost and stuck in the tunnel. So we're going to make a box. Now, I need the greatest. Yeah.
How come it's not R3? R to the 3rd column.
Thank you. Good catch. Just seeing who is paying attention. Okay, too much multitasking. Okay, thank you very much. Let's look at the top row. Very carefully pull out the greatest common factor. Yeah, can you see that the greatest thing that goes into the coefficients is 8? Greatest common factor. Yeah, that goes into the coefficients. We can also look at the chart of factors, look at all the factors and find the greatest. Now, how many R's? What R is the greatest that they both have? This is the hardest part right here. Yeah. Okay, Zoomers. What R is the greatest common factor of that top row? R to what exponent? Ding, ding, ding. R squared. Yeah, I can't do R to the 3rd because they don't both have it. So I actually end up picking the smaller of the 2 because they must both have it. Okay, that's the hardest part. And then I need to multiply to get an answer of 16R cubed. So I need 2R. Yeah, 8 times 2 is 16. R squared times R to the 1st gives me R cubed. And then what am I going to put right there? All right, a 1. Okay, 2R times -7 is -14R. Okay, now we're going to see if it checks. -7 times 1 is -7. So happy face. It works. So we have 8R squared minus 7 with parentheses, 2R plus 1. Don't forget there's a plus sign in between those two. Yeah,
Does it matter the order you put in?
no, these two could switch. Because, and there's a reason why it doesn't matter, multiplication is commutative. Okay, so that was 4 terms box. This one, number 1, what category is this? What do I call it? Either the 4 words in the name or the 4 letters. 25 is one of my favorite numbers. Do you guys have favorite numbers? I have favorite numbers. 25 is one of my favorite numbers because it just is so perfect. It's a perfect square. Yeah, and 4 is a perfect square. This is difference of 2 squares. Okay, in your Canvas quizzes, you're going to have to identify what type of factoring problem this is. So this is 5 squared k squared minus 2 squared. I'll be honest, Photomath does it pretty much like I do, but you need to understand where it's coming from. Okay, so 5k minus 2. And what's the other one? No.
5K plus 2?
Okay, why is that a plus? If I were to make a box, 5k minus 2, 5k plus 2, there is my 25k squared. Look, to get a -4, I need a -2 times a +2 to get the -4. And then we could look into it. Those terms are going to end up canceling. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. Poof, cancels down to the 2 terms and not the 3 terms. Okay, I would like you to be super fast with difference of 2 squares. Okay, number 1 is easy diamond. This is not easy. This is difficult. And what number here makes it difficult? Not the 28. Not the 9, the 3. Why do we not like, and it's not because of the size. Yeah, the 3m squared. It's because we do not want a number in front of the squared term. Having anything besides 1 makes it difficult. So in a difficult problem, we're going to go rainbow, diamond, box. If it's in the difficult category, we have to do rainbow, diamond, box. So switching colors, there's my rainbow. And what am I going to do with the 3 and the 9? Multiply. So I'm going to get 27. What's my next step? Diamond. Thank you. Okay, what goes on the top of the diamond?
27?
27, 28 on the bottom. Okay, now I've seen some of you do your diamonds upside down from me, and maybe your Algebra 1 teacher did them upside down. Mine is, what are 2 numbers that multiply to get 27 and add to get 28? What do you think, Zoomers? Thank you. Okay, so we have 27 and 1. What is the next step that I have to do? If ever you do a rainbow, you must do what?
Well,
Yeah. All right, the box. Thank you, Zoomers. Okay, 3m squared and 9. My 28m is going to split into, do we see it? 27m and 1m. I got that from the diamond. The diamond told me, thank you. Oh, you're fast. You type faster than I write. How to split my middle term. Okay, GCF of the top row is what? Yeah, do we see that it's 3m and m? Okay, let's get it go here. 9. So 3m times 9 is 27m. Awesome, thank you. M times 1, let's check. 1 times 9 is 9. Happy face. So this factors into 3m plus 1, m plus 9. Okay. And I'm just going to tell you, it's not bad. Yeah. Rainbow, diamond, box. Photomath does not show you the rainbow, the diamond, or the box. They just type out the answer. Okay. Let's talk about systems of equations. So here's the big picture. We're going from 2 equations to unknowns. And it's like an upside down triangle. It's getting better and better, smaller and smaller. Okay. So it goes down to 1 equation, 1 unknown, and then we can solve. Our whole goal is to get down to an equation with only 1 variable. Okay. So the methods for solving, we have substitution, which is hook them together. Okay, we have subhook. It's a substitution problem. We hook them together. Then we have another substitution. And then we have elimination. If I have if I have 2 y equals, or it could be x equals. Sometimes it's x equals. If I have 2, it's substitution, hook them together. If I only have 1 y equal, it's the substitution looks different when it's 1 than when it's 2. Now, elimination is also called addition method in this video that you might be seeing next week. That is when I have standard form and standard form. Both equations are in standard form. So step number 1 is decide which method you're going to use. Okay, let's look at this. I have 2 equations in standard form. What method am I going to use? The adding down one. Okay. How do I know? Because both equations are in standard form. So pick a variable. I'm going to add down and I want to cancel one of my variables. You can do either. One involves more work than the other. So let's go for the most efficient variable to cancel when adding down. So Zoomers, vote. Is the X easier to cancel or is the Y easier to cancel?
Why?
Yeah, do we see that it's the Y? Okay, so I want the coefficient to be same but opposite sign. Yeah, look at those threes. +3, -3. Ding, 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 ding. Yay, they rejoiced. Monty Python would say they rejoiced. Okay, so I have a variable. The coefficients are same with opposite sign. Next step, add down. I'm going to put a 1 here, so I remember to add it. So what is 1x plus 2x? 3x. What is 3y plus -3y? Poof. Poof. Yeah, gone. 0 y's. -5 plus 8 is +3. Awesome. Okay, the whole goal was to get rid of the y's. I now have an equation with only one variable. So now I can solve. So x equals 1. But we know when we graph it, we're looking for an ordered pair where these two lines intersect. So I also need a y value. So what am I going to do? How can I solve for y? Plug in. All right, so we're going to plug. I'm going to plug into this one. So x is 1. So I'm going to isolate my variable. 3y equals -6. Divide by 3, y equals -2. So my ordered pair is 1, -2. So you either tell me x equals 1, y equals -2, or the ordered pair is 1, -2. Okay. Number 6. I have 2 equations in standard form. My goal is to go from 2 equations and 2 unknowns down to a nice, simple little equation with only one variable. So what method am I going to use? Substitution, subhook, or elimination add down? Elimination, ding, ding, ding. Okay, both equations are in standard form. So step 1, pick a variable. Okay, which variable looks like the easiest to cancel when we add down? All right, the x. Now, my goal is to have the coefficients same, but opposite sign. Same, but opposite sign. So I really wish the coefficient of the x was +18. How can I make the x coefficient +18? All right. What were you gonna say?
By -2.
+2, right? Because I want same but opposite. Okay. So when you multiply one thing, in order for it to maintain its equivalency, you have to do everything, both sides. So we have 18x minus 4y equals 4, and -18x plus 5y equals 4. Now, right there is your spot where you're most likely to make a mistake. And sometimes you got to go back and you got to check it, because sometimes I forget to do the right-hand side. Yeah, I just do. It's called ADD. Okay, what's my next step? Let's check. Add down. Yeah, I have a positive 18 and a negative 18. So I'm going to add down. Poof. Yeah. Okay, negative 4y plus 5y is 1y is equal to 8. Now, the bummer here, if you have an arithmetic error somewhere, yeah, if you have an arithmetic error somewhere, it just explodes. It gets really bad. Okay. So next step, plug in. I'm going to do the top one. 9x minus 2y equals 2. You're picking the one that looks like it has the simplest arithmetic to solve for y. Neither one does, but okay. So x, oh, wrong. Y is 8. There's another place where it's easy to make an arithmetic error, because you just always think you always solve for x first. We solved for y first. So 9x minus 16 equals 2. Add 16. 9x is equal to 18. Divide by 9. X equals 2. So my ordered pair is 2, 8. That is the point where the two lines would intersect. Question?
In our exam, we would have to write down us, like subtracting the 16 in the equation.
Oh, on the exam, when I take you off, if you skipped that little step right there, nah, especially not in person.
No, I mean, if you plug it in, the top equation, I mean, if you just do it in your head,
And skip right to there.
yeah.
Okay. When you're doing an exam in person, you can leave out some of these little steps. Okay. But the exam show more than you would in your homework.
As much as you can.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Yeah. Are these better than last week? For those of you that were here last week, a little better, making a little more sense. You could tell me no if they're not better.
If it needs.
Okay. This one's tricky. Number 1, this is in standard form. Oh, good. Awesome. Okay, this is in standard form. There is not a variable that's easy to cancel. Okay, so we're just gonna pick one. Which variable should we cancel? Should we just pick X? Let's just pick X. Okay, so we're gonna pick X. So, sometimes it's obvious what the least common multiple is. It's not. So if I want to make them match, I'm going to multiply the top by, can you guess? I want to make the X's match same but opposite. Could anyone guess what I'm going to multiply by the top? Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Nice. 4. Yeah.
Oh, you do it to the bottom by 9.
Okay. Now be very careful. The bottom, same but opposite.
Negative.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. -9. Can you see that's gonna give me a positive 36 on top and a negative 36 on the bottom? Okay, so my top one is going to be 36x minus 36y is equal to not really good at doing arithmetic in my head. Negative 108. Oh, when I did it, the video from last year, it looks like I canceled the Y's. Okay. Okay, so now let's do negative 30. Now let's do red. Negative 36x plus 18y is equal to, wow, 204. Oh, thank you. 234. Oh my goodness, so glad. I'm looking at too many things here. Okay. So now we have negative, oh, poof, yay. Negative 18y is equal to positive 126. Yeah, check my arithmetic. Okay, divide by negative 18. Y is equal to negative 7. Okay. Now I'm going to plug in 9x minus 9 times negative 7 plus 63 equals negative 27. Yeah, Diego, did you like that shortcut that I just did the negative 9 times negative 7 in my head?
Yeah.
Fair? Okay. Minus 63. 9x is equal to negative 90 and divide by 9. X is negative 10.
Wait, did you plug negative 7 into
The other one?
the original equations, like 9x minus
I
9?
did.
Oh, you did?
That's where I got the 63.
Oh,
Okay, those are horrible numbers. That happens sometimes. Horrible, huge numbers. You're using a calculator. Does anyone see a shortcut? Is anyone wondering like, ooh, that doesn't look very fun, but I see a shortcut that looks kind of interesting to explore. Way back at the beginning, 9x minus 9y equals negative 27. Anyone see a shortcut and they're wondering if it would work? If I can multiply both sides by a number, I'm wondering, could I also divide and reduce those numbers as long as you do both sides? Look at 9x, negative 9y, negative 27. If you don't like these huge numbers, some of you don't care. You're like, I'm using a calculator anyway. If instead of multiplying, you could divide all those terms by 9, bring those numbers down a little bit. So that's an option as well that I think we might use.
if you divided the top by 9, then what would you divide the bottom by 9?
No, it would have to, the bottom, you could divide by 2, but then you're still going to have to make a match. That doesn't mean they're going to match. Sometimes I do that because I hate these huge, crazy numbers. It doesn't make it shorter. It just makes it a little more reasonable. So I'm a little quirky that way. If I see 9, 9 and negative 27, I'm like, forget that. I'm dividing everything by 9. You don't have to.
So if you divided the top by 9, you would have to divide something to the bottom, right? Or could you just divide one?
You could just divide 1, but then you're going to have to multiply to make it match the bottom. Okay, sorry, Zoomers.
Okay.
Okay, it's just a quirky thing that sometimes helps. And I just, excuse me, want you to know that it's a possibility. All of a sudden I have the hiccups. Okay. This is the Texas A&M system of equations. Yeah? Sub hook. Now, we're just having this discussion. If this is me, if I am equal to, I'm sorry, if I am friends with Brooke and you are friends with Brooke, then let's both be friends with Brooke. Yeah, do you see where this is going? If I am friends with Brooke and you are friends with Brooke, we're both friends with the same person. Okay, so solve by systems of equations. When you have two equations, both solved for y, you're using the substitution hook them together method. So let's put this one in place of y. Yeah. And in the Canvas quiz, I ask you, what is the resulting equation? 2x plus 10 is equal to negative 2x minus 6. Hook them together. They're both equal to y. Make them friends. They're both friends with y. Make them friends with each other. So our whole goal is to go from 2 equations and 2 unknowns down to 1 equation, 1 variable, 1 unknown. I'm going to add 2x. And you know what? I'm going to take a little shortcut. I'm also going to move the 10 at the same time. Yeah. So 4x is equal to negative 16. Divide by 4, x is equal to negative 4. Now, people tend to like this one the best of all 3. Like is a very strong word, but people tend to always get this one right. Let's plug in y is equal to 2 times negative 4. That's negative 8 plus 10. Y is equal to 2. I can plug them into the other one. If x is negative 4, that's negative 2 times negative 4 is 8 minus 6 would give me 2 as well. So I've checked my answer. I know it's correct. Yeah.
Can I see what x equals for 7 real quick?
Negative 10. Okay, number 9. People don't like this one. This is the substitute teacher. I am Y, but I am sick tomorrow. I'm not really sick tomorrow. So the substitute teacher needs to go in for me. Yeah, Y is not going to be here tomorrow. 3x plus 3 is going in as a substitute. So let's take the bottom equation Y is not here tomorrow. A substitute is going to go in Y's place. And what goes into the parentheses? 3x plus 3. Substitution. Y comes out. 3x plus 3 goes in. With parentheses, if there's more than one term, you are going to have to distribute. Okay. Distribute the 8. Your packet doesn't have this?
That question?
Yeah.
It does.
Is it number 9?
Drafting.
Cadence, are you using the packet I gave you, or did you print it from Canvas? Oh, shoot. The Canvas one might be wrong. Okay. Then you are not going to worry about this problem. You're just going to watch. Shoot. Now I don't know how much more the Canvas one is wrong. Okay, we'll have to figure that out. Okay, let's combine like terms. Oh, good. Phew. Okay, that's weird. Let's subtract 24. 19x is equal to negative 19. Divide by 19, x equals negative 1. Oh, did it get squished? It may have got squished. Now, okay, I'm trying to speed up a little bit. Let's solve for y. 3 times negative 1 is 0. Y equals 0. Okay. Number 10 on your own. We are going to move on to the word problems. Okay. This is one of the friendliest word problems you're going to see this year. Okay. This is not bad. So Joe and Kayla are selling pies for the school fundraiser. Customers can buy apple pies and blackberry pies. Joe sold 5 apple and 11 blackberry for a total of $246. Kayla sold 10 apple and 12 blackberry for $322. Now we are going to write 2 equations. And if you have 2 equations, you can have 2 variables. So ready? Let's talk about Joe. 5 apple plus 11 blackberry gave him a total of $246. Not bad, huh? Do we want to use X's and Y's or A's and B's?
A's and B's.
Okay. 5 apple, I use capital, plus 11 blackberry is 246. What about Kayla? $10 apple plus 12 blackberry is 332. Okay. Thank you, Joe and Kayla. You can step off. Now, the way my equation editor sets these up, there's usually one variable that's obviously a lot easier to solve for. Which variable is obviously easier to solve for? A, yeah. So the top equation, what do I need to multiply the top equation by so that I get the coefficients of the A's to be same but opposite sign? Careful, negative, right? Yeah, we're going to multiply by -2. Yeah, awesome. So we're going to have -10A minus 22B equals, woo, 492, -492. Positive 10A plus 12B equals positive 332. Not bad. These word problems tend to be very friendly. Okay, what's my next step? All right, add down. So we have -10B is equal to -160. Divide by -10, B is positive 16. So does that mean 16 pies? It doesn't mean 16 pies. What does the 16 refer to? Dollars, right? So the blackberry costs $16. Now, I'm just going to warn you. Yes, thank you. Some of these, because it just generates the same, very similar problem over and over again, some of the numbers may end up unrealistic because you're like, oh, a blackberry is $39 and an apple is $5. It just happens sometimes. Okay, let's plug it in. 5 apples plus 11 blackberries that are $16 each is $246. $11 times 16, 5 apple plus 176 is $246. Minus 176, 5 apple is equal, 5A is 70. Divide by 5, A is 14. Apple pies are $14. Okay, with practice, this is a very friendly word problem. And you know how I am, okay? I tell you, you need to be able to do this word problem, and I'm not kidding. You need to be able to do this word problem. It's going to show up. Okay, now you're going to do number 12 on your own. Okay, or stick around and request it at the end. Okay, let's do number 13. Not as friendly, but if you've been with me for a while, you're going to notice when in doubt, make a box. In fact, I was teaching this one group, it was kind of towards the end of the year. They're like, so Miss Watts, basically you make a box for everything. Yep. Okay. A plane traveled 416 miles each way to Perth and back, wherever Perth is. The trip was with the wind. This is the one that gets really unrealistic. It's hilarious. It took 4 hours going with the wind. Coming back, they were flying against the wind and took 8. It's not going to do twice as it gets worse. Like there are some that are worse. There's one that's like it took 2 hours with the wind and 12 against. Like that doesn't happen. But anyway, 8 hours against the wind. What is the speed and plane in air? Okay, so I need two. What are some things you see? Is there anything from junior high that you remember that's going on here? You're like, I can't read your mind. I have no idea. I'm just gonna tell you, rate times time equals distance. Okay, so we're gonna go rate times time equals distance.
Miles an hour equals miles per hour.
Right. Chemistry or physics. Yeah. Miles per hour times hours gives you miles. Yeah, a little, and there's no reason that's capitalized. Little unit conversion from chemistry. Mr. Erickson would be so happy. Okay. What numbers can I plug into the box?
416
Is the
would be the rate. No, that would be the distance.
okay. 416. Now this is with the wind, and this is they say into, I'm going to say against. Okay. Do we see that 416 is the same distance for both? They go there, they come back. Okay, what else do we see?
Time.
Okay, going with the wind, it took 4 hours. Going into the wind, against the wind, it took 8 hours. Now, here's the hardest part. Okay, here's the hardest part. I need 2 variables. We have 2 things affecting the plane. We have the speed of the plane and we have the wind. So going with the wind, we have P plus W. The plane with respect to the ground is going faster because of the wind. Now, when the plane is flying into the wind, here's the plane, here's the wind blowing. Yeah, doesn't that help? Blowing against the plane. Is the plane going faster or slower when it's flying into the wind? Slower. It's P minus W. Okay, you with me so far? So back to this. Rate times time equals distance. P plus W, I have 2 terms. I am putting them in parentheses, times time equals distance. Rate times time equals distance.
divide.
Okay, I'm gonna distribute. Yes, you could, but I'm gonna distribute. There's a shortcut right here. I'm gonna distribute the 4. So I have 4P plus 4W is 416. Do you see the shortcut? There is a shortcut right there. I'm gonna distribute right here. 8P minus 8W equals 416. Okay. Pick a variable to cancel.
P,
Pick another variable to cancel.
W,
Okay, guys, why do I like W better than P? Because I already have opposite sign.
O.
Yeah, you can do P. But when I look at that, I'm like, ooh, one little arithmetic step less. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 2. And then I'll have a positive 8 and a negative 8 for my W's. Okay, 8P plus 8W equals
32.
32. I don't trust myself. And 8P minus 8W equals 416. I was all ready to multiply that by 2. Okay, any arithmetic errors?
So we add 832 and 416 together?
Okay, add down. 16P is equal to
Big number. 1,248.
48. Yeah, divide by 16. P is equal to 78. The plane is flying 78 miles per hour. That seems a little slow. That's like the speed of a car. It's like us driving down to Los Angeles on the 99. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's like a crop duster that you see. Okay. So now don't expect realistic numbers. It just is what it is. Okay, let's plug it in. 4P plus 4W equals 416. 4 times P is 312. Minus 312. Four W equals 102. Divide by 4. 26. The wind is going 26 miles per hour. Okay, so these word problems, they tend to come out a little funny. Like the wind's pretty fast and the plane's pretty slow. It just happens. But you get the point. Okay, make the box. Yeah, and there will be some Canvas quizzes when I will ask you what will go in the box. Okay,
Like 102 divided by 4 is 26.
yes. Okay, I don't think we're gonna be able to do all these. Yikes.
It's 24. We're on 14.
Okay, we're gonna move forward. Now, notice. Less than or equal to. Yeah,
Solid.
okay. So here's our steps. Step 1, get the y-intercept. Step 2, get the slope. Step 3, is it solid or dashed? Step 4, we're going to shade up or down.
Y-intercept is 4.
Okay, so y-intercept is 4. The slope is either -1/5 or 1/5, correct? The negative's in the middle. I'm going to put it on either the top or the bottom, whichever one fits on my graph better. So I begin with +4. I'm going to go down 1/5. Or up 1, back 5. I could do both. They both fit. Don't draw the line yet. Okay. Now, if it is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, these would be solid lines. So this is solid. Oh my goodness, you are right. This is not a 5x5. Thank you. This is a 6x6. Okay, does everyone see why this is a solid line? Okay, now I need to choose up or down. Yeah, y is less than or equal to blah, 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 blah. Anyone want to make a guess?
Yeah.
Okay, greater than or equal to is going to go up. Less than or equal to is going to go down. Now, there's also, you could do a test point. I don't do a test point. I just always solve for y and then decide. Let's do a nice light color. Shade down because it's less than. Okay, we are not going to graph number 15. I just want to know, is this going to be solid or dashed? And I just want to know, is this going to be up or down? Yeah, we have a vote.
Dash and up.
Dashed, right? Because it's not equal to, and greater than is going to be up. Yeah, do we see that? Dashed and up. Okay. Number 16. Solid or dashed. Sometimes it's dotted. Up or down. Ding, ding, ding. Dashed, it's not equal to, and less than is down. Yeah? Okay. Now, you cannot decide if your inequality is in standard form. It will lead you astray. You would have to do a test point. So in order to graph this, I'm going to isolate my y. I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract and move the x's over. Y is greater than negative 3x minus 4. Okay, solve for y. Okay, so the y-intercept is a negative 4. The slope is negative 3 over 1 or 3 over negative 1. Okay, let's graph the y-intercept. We can go down 3 over 1 or up 3, back 1. Okay, solid or dashed?
Yeah.
Dashed. Dang it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay. Okay, dashed line. Shade up or down?
Up.
Up. Correct. And I see you guys typing in up. Totally my fault. Okay, guys, so we're gonna shade up. That was okay. Anyway, we are gonna go to number 18. So please start number 18. Solve for y, please. Yes, 7x minus 4y is greater than 16. Okay, so you're going to subtract 7x. Now, do we see that we need to divide by that -4?
Yep. The fraction has two negatives, one negative on the top and one on the bottom. Is that a positive or?
Yes, because a negative divided by a negative. How do you like this? Working a math, yes. It's coming back. Sorry. Working a math problem with audio and no visual. Come on. Almost there. Okay, guys, I am so sorry. Okay, hopefully you are now seeing my screen again.
Yep.
Let's do number 18.
It's hard to know which side is greater.
Okay. So I need to solve for y. Minus 7x. Negative 4y greater than, put your x's first. Now, here's the trick. I need to divide by a negative number. Now, in Algebra 1, long time ago, we learned that if you have an inequality and you divide or multiply by a negative number, what happens to the inequality? It flips. So because I divided by a negative, I flip it. Negative divided by negative is positive.
Ooh, shoot.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, it flips. Okay, so y-intercept is -4. We're going to go up 7 and over 4. gonna have a dotted line. Dashed line. Sorry, sometimes I call it dotted, sometimes I call it dashed. Dashed line. And now we're going to shade down. Okay, let's do this one. What does this line look like if it was equals horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Yeah. Tells us the y equals is horizontal. Okay, so I find y equals -1. And it's going to be a horizontal line. Solid. And now y is greater than, I'm going to shade up. Okay, now you can skip this one. But do we see that when you divide, you would have to flip the sign? That would involve flipping the sign because it has a negative y. Whenever it's in standard form and you have a negative y, you would have to flip the sign. What if I have two equations? Let's graph one in red. -1 is the y-intercept. -1/2. So we're going to go down 1/2 or up 1 back 2. Okay, and the red one, oh, solid or dashed for the red?
First one is solid.
Solid. Shade up or shade down?
Up.
All right. So now let's do the bottom one. Y-intercept of -3, slope of 1/2. And we can really see how we've been practicing what we're doing. We're using everything we've been learning since August. Y-intercept of -3, up 1/2. Dashed. Down 1, back 2. And up. Okay. Now, the solution, here's the trick here. Because there's two, we are looking for where they overlap. So we are going to erase that part. Here's the solution. The solution is where the two shadings overlap. There's the solution. Okay, 22, do not do. I realize that we are super late and some of you need to go, but we're gonna do the piecewise functions. So we're gonna replace this with y equals. So we have y equals -2 and y equals x. We're gonna make a table. Okay, this is the boundary. I'm gonna highlight it for now and erase it later. This is where the two pieces meet, but they don't touch. But they both originate at that line. So I need 4 in both parts of the table. So if x is 4, this is a horizontal line, right? Y is -2. Okay, for this one, my first number was 4. My second number needs to be less than 4. So let's do 3. Sometimes I go a lot less because otherwise they're really close together. But this is a horizontal line. If x is 3, y is still -2. So x is 4, y is -2. X is 3, y is -2. So this is a horizontal line to the left of 4. With a closed circle. So this is left with a closed circle. Okay, next. Y equals x. If x is 4, y is 4. So we're going to have 4, 4. Now, my next x value needs to be greater than 4 on the right of 4. So I'm going to do 5. But y equals x. If I plug in x, x is 5. Y is 5. So this is an arrow pointing to the right with an open circle. to the right with an open circle. Erase the boundary line. And there's our graph. Notice they both originate their rays that we learned in geometry. They originate on the line x equals 4. One goes to the right, one goes to the left. And this one is do not do. Okay, thank you for staying. I know this was a very long session, trying to fit all of a week's worth of advanced algebra into an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Questions? Anyone want to do anything I skipped, or we're good?
12.
Okay, we have a request for number 12. Super friendly. High school A and high school B. One van and 6 buses. One van and 6 buses took 300. Oh, it was filled. Filled one van and filled 6 buses, 323 kids. High school B, 12 vans and 12 buses, 756 kids. Okay, are my variables A and B, or are my variables V for van and B for buses?
VB.
Okay, find the number of students in the van and the number of students in the bus. The find is going to tell you that we're using V's and B's. Okay, look at the red and write an equation for high school A. One van, bless you, plus 6 buses equals 323 students. Okay, school B, green, 12 vans plus 12 buses equals 756. Okay, 2 equations in standard form. We're going to use the add down method. Pick a variable to cancel. Let's pick B.
Multiplied by -2.
-2. So we have -2V minus 12B is equal to
-646.
-646. Okay, here's the other one. 12V plus 12B is equal to 756. Okay, let's look at the B's. Their coefficients are same but opposite. Next step, add down. Poof. 10V is equal to positive 110. Divide by 10. V is equal to 11. There are 11 students in the van that's filled. Okay, I can pick whatever equation I want. I like that one. 1V plus 6B is equal to 323. 1V is 11 plus 6B is 323. 6B is equal to 312. Divide by 6. B is equal to 52 students. Okay, gang, that's it.